Yama etifo ne ahwefo akwaba akroma TV GH na masogo so amotie no best friend etifo say way for free be subscribe no click a notification bell no so dey be video for be aba on sabetimi akabi o adwuntwe bi aso abetimi dey ato comment section honom na ensemo yensa kan ene dey beto dwa ama etifo na Dennis Miracles Aboakye ene dey insemi abeto dwa na ninsem no tre say since Alan Efri NPP party no he's having a interview after interview. Now interview be Alan baby okay in some fa a party ne hama you think say NPP party the as a some phone kwan go. Now what you say intika Alan a super delegate conference inka Alan every ne and I said nka what me please second ba me gabo na e kakra bia intika Alan e ba kwatena a TV so I have interviews I can in some way okay can afa a party ne ho ana. But Alfred,
I think the only difference between what's happened in the NPP now with Honorable Aboakye and what happens in every other political party, the difference is simply because we have an individual who believes that he definitely needs to be on a ballot paper. And so if the party that he belongs to and the people who take the decision have decided not to allow him to be on the ballot paper, then he has no choice but to find another route to still be on the ballot paper. That is the only reason. Because really, if you listen to Honorable Alan Chamanti and all the issues he raises, these are not issues that cause breakaway from a political party.
They are not issues that cause breakaway.
No. And I tell you
that the party has been hijacked by
Honorable I'll tell you. You see,
party folks.
I'll later come on to the architecture of political parties and the structure. And I always say that most of our professors, and I'm using the word most of our professors, not all of them, are still living in the theories and are not really in tune with the realities of the politics of the day in this country. And I think that it's time they begin to marry the theories in the books with what actually transpires in the 275 constituencies and over 38,000 police stations. And sometimes you may think that the NPP and NDC at some point we agree on certain issues, but that's the reality. Honorable Cabinet before, if you read the message he put out a few hours before he withdrew from the NDC, the issues are not different from the issues Alan raised. And I have some paragraphs. He said, as at this time, the party has begun distributing the ballot papers to the various regions and constituencies without involvement. He said that I wish to reiterate my commitment to the party and its grassroots. However, my concerns that the party is not ready to conduct free and fair elections is evident for all to see. Taking part in such would be akin to knowingly drinking from a poisoned calabash. After consulting with my support base nationwide, I've been left with no choice but to withdraw from the presidential election, as I cannot contest in an election which is blatantly fraught with irregularities, regardless of efforts to draw their attention. Honorable Kwabena did not leave the NDC. He did not part ways with the NDC. In fact, he came back 2 days or so, I think a few hours later, to release another long statement to explain that in spite of his concerns, genuine concerns that he has raised, is still part of the NDC. And let me tell you what, Alfred. Go and read Honorable Alan Chamanti's statement. These are the same issues. In fact, a lot of the issues he raises for his departure are issues after he has withdrawn from the contest. That's a fact. And sometimes I ask people that, okay, with all these interviews he's granted and all the issues of, I said this, I wanted to do this, they didn't allow me to do it. Of course, you're not the president. You belong to a group, you belong to a cabinet. Even our professors and our associations and our church programs, when we go, we don't take decisions based on individual views. We aggregate the views. And then the majority would, the majority view will go. You think that all of us seated here, even in our various groups, even Mr. Martin Pebu and the Kumi Preko Part 2, the one that failed. The management team of that group who organized it, I'm sure when they met, they disagreed on, let's take this route, take this route. And at some point, after it failed, some of them probably said, I told you, we should have done this. It's normal. But we should not distract the issues with the fact that he said there are issues. Which political party doesn't have issues? Which
Did you make any attempts to address the issues
that he raised? It has happened before. This same person did the same thing in 2007, and the issues were addressed, for which reason he continued to stay and contested in subsequent elections. Now the question is, if he had won August 26th, if he had won August 26th, or even if he had placed second, a decent second in August 26th, I'm saying, making this argument dispassionately, and we must do this logical analysis that if the man had won August 26th, or he had even placed a decent second, do you think he would have been here? Yes. Or even if he had placed...
You were looking for
exactly. Or even if he had placed a decent second, do you really sincerely think we'll be having this conversation? No.
But so there are fundamental issues he raises. His Northeast candidate was beaten. We saw the videos.
Raise them. Eye. No problem. Raise them.
There's a problem.
It is part of every electoral process, even our national elections.
The violence?
America, the mother of democracy, they are in court. FBI,
but there is no justification for the violence.
I am not saying, let me make the point and contextualize the issues. I don't want distractions. I am telling you that
questions,
in every democracy, so long as human beings are going to skew and take decisions, expect some of these issues to happen, in as much as you wouldn't wish for it. And so let's even ignore NPP, ignore NDC in Ghana. The most advanced democracy, show us one, that they go into the elections without anybody coming out to complain. Even America, the mother of democracies. So we should question the character of the individual. The MPP cannot say that the next elections will not have issues. The CPP cannot say that they will not have issues in the next elections. Even Ghana, in our own election that is coming up, we will have issues. Is John Mahama, who is likely to lose, going to denounce his citizenship because he didn't win the elections?
What did you say?
I'm giving an analogy, a very possible analogy. Is he going to denounce his Mahama has raised issues.
Yes.
Mahama has raised issues with Techiman, Techiman South?
Yes.
Okay. And I think he's in court, a lot of issues. He hasn't denounced his citizenships. I don't want us to. Democracies have its own challenges. And lawyer, you agree that in every democracy, these things will come up. Raise them. Some of them may be addressed, not in the way you want. That is the democracy of the day. We don't run the democracy based on individual aspirations. It is based on the collective decision. And that is why the organization has rules and regulations. Honorable Alan Chamantin, all the issues he's raised post-August 26th, he raised them and they were addressed. In fact, they were put to vote. At the National Council, which is the second highest decision-making body, there are processes. It is the same National Council that set the rules for him to be able to be part of the process. Now, you raise concerns. The concerns go to National Council. Your representatives are present. A lot of your followers are members of the National Council. A decision is taken, and you are telling us that the organization that you belong to goes to a vote. About 70 or so people vote against whatever you bring up, and you have about 7 votes, and you are saying that you are smarter than the rest, then you don't belong to us. So we shouldn't confuse the issues. That fundamental question must be answered. That, Alan, should you have won August 26th, or should you even have placed a decent second, would we be having this conversation? Honorable Kennedy Japan beat you. He beat you to the second position, which you have been holding for all these years. He beat you to it. It tells you how much you lack in that aspect of mobilizing and organizing people. Now, we talk about the system and the fact that, some people have been... You belong to a political party. I am very young. Okay, as far back as 2007 when we were having the presidential election that Alan contested, I was in Legon. I am very young. If you sit now, for me to come in 2023 and be able to mobilize the same political party that you've been part of in years, mobilize the people around me to beat you in an election, you don't have any capacity to even make a case. You may not like the NPP. You may disagree with the NPP. But if you don't do the analysis the way we are talking about, then you are being emotional and you are not being sincere. This is a political party. Honorable Kwabena Dofo raised the same issues that Alan raised. He hasn't quit the NDC. We only trolled the NDC, for a few days, that look at what you are doing, you are not bringing... See, the NDC went into an election, Alfred, and a female name was given to a male contestant, candidate at trade fair. That candidate came back and became a national Honorable Edwasare. He didn't quit. The day of election, they opened the ballot at trade fair, and he realizes that a female name or so has been given to him. And he couldn't contest the elections. That is what you do in an organization. Yes, clerical error. But even he didn't quit. So for me, I think that That issue of trying to make it look like Alan has no genuine reasons to quit the NPP. He's quit the NPP for his own selfish, parochial,
so all the concerns he
ambitions.
raised are not genuine?
No, I haven't said that. Pay very close attention to what I said. I said that you raise those issues in the political organizations and they are addressed. The fact that they are not addressed the way and manner that you want doesn't give you genuine grounds to quit. Now, let me also go to the Alan and its effects on the NPP. You know, sometimes people have an overrated impression of themselves. And we've seen several of these overrated impressions in this country, several of them. This is not the first time. Alan is not the first person that has quit NDC or quit the NPP. These analysis that others are doing, he will draw this, he will get this from this account, we do it for them all the time. All the time we do this analysis. Now, we'll come back on the night of 7th December 2024 when, of course, the independent candidate figures will come in very early. And then you hear the same pundits and the same people saying that, you know, we are disappointed, you should have done right. You know why? Because, Fred, the reality on the ground is that NPP, NDC have done a lot of work for the past 34 years. It doesn't come easy. It doesn't come cheap. Belonging to political parties is an issue of ideology and principles. That is why when I hear people say the voter people, the Ashanti people, they always vote for NPP, NDC, as if they don't know what they are about, then I think that these people are flawed. In the US, in the UK, you go to an area today, they will tell you that as for this area, when we vote today, we know they will vote Labour. They will vote Conservative. Yeah, we know the red states. We know the blue states. The identity politics always 80 to 90%. Yeah. The difference between MPP and NDC in any election is a certain 2%. Who would take that decision at that particular moment?
Every 8 years.
For you to be able to break, and that's why always when I hear people go around the country, all the democracies around the world, which democracy has more than 2 strong political parties? It is always 2. Until along the line, there is a big surprise. But those surprises, they don't happen just like that. They happen under very, very, very extreme conditions. And Professor Entry, right,
Professor Entry,
made a point about the registration. As we speak, the political parties are moving around. I'm still to buttress the Alan effect. Are moving around, mobilizing for election 2024. They are mobilizing. You think that in the morning of 7 December when people are voting, they just get up from their homes to come and vote? There are over 38,622 polling stations. The NDC has representations in each of these polling stations. The MPP has representations in each of these polling stations. You go around, you spend on logistics, you spend on resources, you move people from their homes and give them reasons why they should vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia or vote for John Mahama. The question is, between now, and I'm trying to contextualize the issue and not go, between now and December 2024, realistically, if anybody realistically comes to tell any Ghanaian that there is a likelihood of a third force outside the NDC and MPP, then the person is just not trying to be sincere with all of us. Alan is an MPP member, no doubt. Of course, even as we speak, he has about 2 or 3 people who are actually following him that used to be MPP members. So you can count that as an MPP loss. No doubt about that. Yes. That used to be MPP members. And they are following SK Boafo and Co. They forfeited their membership. Yeah. It's automatic.
So Yabuabeng.
I haven't heard the Aboakye, but I've heard SK Boafo and the rest.
So anybody who supports Alan, now that he has gone independent or withdrawn from the party,
automatic.
The party,
he's not part. It's automatic.
The supporters are also not part of the party.
No, once you support Alan, you are no longer part of the MPP.
That is even if you are an MPP.
You see, all the courtesies are extended to His Excellency John Mahama. All the courtesies are the same courtesies I'm now transferring to Alan. No other, the courtesies and all the, posture I have towards Mahama, I transfer all to Alan. He is now part of the opposition. He is an opposition political party. And per our party's constitution, once you support another candidate other than that of the MPP, you automatically forfeit it. But pay attention to what is happening. The party people who used to support Alan, from the north to the south to the coastal people, are publicly coming out to come and correct the fact that, hey, we were supporting you because you were part of our party. But now that you have left, we are no longer with you. And the numbers who are declaring that are more than those who are actually following him. Let me also quickly correct, a certain impression that's been created. That impression that, I was part of the government, and I heard Professor Entry say it. He was part of the government, he raised an issue, and then they were not listening to. That is the lamest, weakest argument that every leader can make. And it tells you the person that is even seeking to lead this country. Imagine if all cabinet members from previous government, from Atamels and Jomama, and should come out and say this. Even in TB3, when you go for management meetings, is it all the things that you offered? You say that TB3 implements. Some of them would work, some of them will not work. But any leader that takes the posture that Alan has taken is a leader that cannot be trusted, and is one that everybody should be looking at in a particular way. Our job right now as New Patriotic Party is to look at the situation, analyze it, strategize in a way and manner that there will not be any impact. But in NPP, they don't vote based on tribal lines. If it was based on tribal lines, when we went for August 6th, Alan lost. August 26th, he lost.
I see. So even
in the Ashanti region, and he lost in all the other so-called Akan regions.
You say that are flawed, but you will still do an analysis and hope that his withdrawal will not have an impact on you.
Because my argument is structured. The first point is about the persona and the reasons why I don't understand how these issues would lead someone that has an interest of a group and a nation at heart to quit a political party. Number two, we're also trying to look at examples of people who have had similar situations and did not quit because it is part of the standard operating procedure in a democratic situation. Then the third one is those trying to create an impression. Those trying to create an impression that because Alan has left MPP, all of a sudden MPP has collapsed. I'm telling you that facts and figures don't lie. When there are facts and figures to discuss, opinions don't count. The facts on the ground is that ever since Alan started contesting elections in our party, he hasn't even crossed 10%.
Oh, see, in this instance, this is what your party's constitution says, specifically about the forfeiture of membership. Point 1, a member of the party who stands as an independent candidate against the officially elected member of the party, or who joins or declares his or her support for another political party, it continues, or for an independent candidate, when the party has sponsored a candidate in a general by-election, automatically forfeits his or her membership of the party. So that's the provision of the MPP.
Hold on. You don't interpret our political party. You have read one side. There are conduct of a political party. Your fundamental responsibility as a party is to protect the interests of the political party. If you work against the party, it's against the interests of the political party.
But if you remove them,
we are talking about those. Relax. We are talking about those who go all out there to declare their support for another candidate.
Yes.
I am telling you that anybody that has declared the support for any other candidate other than a candidate by the MPP forfeits his membership.
Have a candidate yet?
But you are supporting another candidate.
You don't have
but you are supporting another candidate. He hasn't declared. Hasn't he declared his intentions?
Decisions. Let me educate you.
No, don't. You can't educate me on my party's rules.
No,
that's not part of my party.
It's a document.
Relax. You can take it up when the people are exited. You can support them in court. But I'm telling you that in our organization, once you declare
your party,
take it up. Take it up.
These people don't.
No. Take it up for now.
Okay.
So what? Let me ask you something. So SK Buafo.
Yes,
when we go relax, when we go for our party meetings, and we are going to strategize, you come and sit in our room.
You haven't removed.
You are not serious, right?
You haven't removed.
You are not serious. You are not serious. You are not serious. So I think
yes, but while you round up on this, you see, there's an issue. This concern that Alan Kyerematen raised is not just with him. You've seen Aboakye Jako's statement, which we have a copy of. Aboakye Jako says, at least, quote, "My brother Kyerematen has put his thoughts and feelings on paper for all to appreciate. How about the many who harbor similar and maybe more petulant sentiments in their hearts, but are not openly expressing same? There are many in our party today who have, out of dismay, resigned in their hearts and are only waiting to walk away from us at the ballot box. Now is the time to smoothen ruffled feathers and assuage wounded sentiments across the length and breadth of our party." He said that should be your focus.
Has he quit the party? That is all part of the democratic processes. People have issues. People raise them. Some of them will be addressed. Some of them will be addressed in a way that they would want. Others, they will not. There is no problem with this. Don't you see people from various political parties dissenting all the time? I haven't spoken against that. There is nothing. As a CTA, I also have concerns. For example, my party brought some rules about who can contest for parliamentary positions and who cannot contest. I have my disagreement with that. I haven't quit the party. So that is not a basis for you to quit a political party. The only reason why you use that, and I give you the Kwabnado 4 scenario, similar sentiment. He's still part of the NDC. The only reason why you use that to quit a political party is that sense of entitlement. That a dream is so entitlement, that thinking that, hey, no matter what, I should be on the ballot paper. And that if it is not me, then I have to go and do something else.
No, that's not logical. You can't say that's the only
Okay,
reason.
so
I'll
come to you.
It is logic because there are examples and precedences within the same context. People have gone through similar situations. They did not quit on that basis. Aboakye Jako, as you read, hasn't quit the party. You understand? So your persona, your character, your sense of entitlement, that belief that it must be you and nobody else, but the decision is not yours. The decision is about the party people. If I were him, I would go and test my popularity on 4th November to see whether, hey, okay.
Well, he has chosen a different path.
Exactly.
And so,
no doubt about that. But that doesn't mean that there is absolutely anything wrong with the MPP. Whatever is wrong with the MPP is not different from what is wrong with the PPP, CPP, NDC, Democrats Party, Republican. It is just a political party thing. And what you do in a political party is that you follow the structures and systems. If it goes your way, good. If it doesn't, you move on because you don't take the decision for the party. There are structures and systems who make those decisions for the political party.
So, Lawyer Martin Bebo, you say